So the 2025 Nobel Prize in Economics just went to three economists, and not for fixing inflation or predicting crashes, but for mathematically proving that innovation actually kills businesses, and they call it creative destruction. The creative part is that new technology drives growth, but the destructive part is that your business gets wiped out in the process.
And this isn't theory. It's happening right now to service businesses everywhere.
So why should you listen to us? Well, Tom's marketed over 400 courses. He's fixed positioning issues for over 900 business owners. He's owned a record label, a coffee shop, and a retail store, and run multiple agencies. I've built and sold a seven-figure training company. I've run operations for a multi-million-dollar education business with 40 employees, and I've fixed operations for over 100 companies. I've also taught AI to over 13,000 business people. So let me break down what we're covering. First, what creative destruction actually means and why it's happening to you right now. Second, why fighting it is the worst thing you could possibly do. And thirdly, how to pivot from being destroyed to being the one doing the destroying instead. And this isn't just about theory, it's about recognizing that due to basic mathematical and economic principles, your industry is changing, whether you like it or not. And the question is, are you going to change with it? So let's start with what creative destruction actually is. And these three economists built a mathematical model: Joel Mokyr, Philip Aghion, and Peter Howard. And their model shows that innovation isn't just new and creative, it's also destructive in nature. So when someone builds a better product, the old one dies, and the companies selling the old product get outcompeted and destroyed.
This is capitalism working exactly as designed.
Right. And the most obvious example right now is AI. AI is creatively destroying service businesses en masse. So the first companies to go were the BPO companies in the Philippines and Pakistan. And right now they are getting hammered. It's like 10% of the Philippines GDP or something. So customer service there is being replaced by AI-driven chatbots. And you know what? Western-based service providers are not that far behind.
Well, the BPO companies are selling an older product, and that's human labor.
And someone else is selling a superior, more innovative product called AI. So a targeted AI model is going to work 24/7. It never gets sick. It never quits. It never complains. And the question you need to ask yourself is, are you selling an older product? And what happens when AI comes for you?
So here's the thing most people, especially agency owners or service business people, miss. You're already competing with a superior digital product. SaaS. Unless you sold a lifetime deal in AppSumo, and now you turn the best business model into the worst business model. But anyway, it's the best business model if you do it right, whether you acknowledge it or not.
Yeah. And pretending that nothing has changed is the fastest way to become obsolete, because your clients aren't stupid. If they can get the same results faster, cheaper, 24/7, of course they're going to do it, right? You don't get points for being human if the outcome is worse.
Or even if it's the same output, same outcome, lower price, you lose.
Yeah, so that's the reality. Creative destruction isn't coming, it's already here. Which brings us to the second point, which is what not to do about it. So creative destruction is an inevitable part of capitalism. It's built into market economics. You can't fight it, you can't complain about it, and you can't really try to block it either.
So two things to remember. You're not important enough to stop it. Hoping it goes away is not a solution. Actually, this is a good market to sell to. They're very vulnerable to nonsense. And people who hope for something that will not happen are not rational buyers. So take that as you want. Back to the program.
Yeah, look, there's no monopoly out there that as a small service provider that's going to protect you, right? There is no government regulation that is going to save your business model. And absolutely, there is no interest group that is going to prevent AI from developing. It is going to happen.
Well, look at what happened back in the 1800s. Textile workers, and I bet other factory workers, they tried to stop machines from taking their jobs by smashing them. And how did that work?
Well, the machines kind of won. The Industrial Revolution happened anyway, and the workers who adapted survived, and the ones who didn't just disappeared. And the same thing is happening with AI right now. The only difference is it's happening a lot faster.
The only way to keep control is to let go of your old identity. So if you're a service provider selling hours, you need to stop thinking of yourself as a service provider. Stop correlating the amount of people you have with self-worth or whatever ego thing you have going on. Instead of whining about your workers, just see which one of them can be replaced. And who do you need to orchestrate this? One thing I'll tell you now that I notice, specialists are no longer that special when AI enters the room.
Yeah, this is going to be the hardest part for most people, which is your identity is wrapped up in what you do. You say, I'm a consultant, I'm a designer, I'm a developer, right? But your clients don't really care about your identity. What they care about is their outcomes.
And if AI can deliver those better, faster, and cheaper, who cares how business used to be done? It's time to move on.
Yeah, so the question becomes, how do you pivot? How do you go from being creatively destroyed to being the one doing the creative destroying? And that's what we're going to cover next. So just a quick check. If this is resonating with you so far, just hit subscribe and the notification bell as well. We drop new episodes every week on AI, building software, and the exit-only approach. And drop us a comment. What industry do you think AI is coming for next? All right, back to how you actually pivot. So joining the rising AI tide lets you define the new rules instead of being ruled by them. And this is about positioning. Are you going to be the one selling the old product or the new one?
So think about when you buy something. Would you rather buy from someone slower and more expensive, or from something or someone that just gets the job done and saves you time?
Yeah, when you pivot from service to software, from hours to equity, you're not just changing what you sell, you're changing your entire value proposition. You're going from replaceable to scalable, from capped income to exponential potential.
And more importantly, for the exit-only approach, you're building something that someone else can buy.
Yeah, nobody is going to acquire your consulting practice for 10 times your revenue. They're just not going to do it. But they will happily acquire your SaaS for 5 to 10x annual recurring revenue. And that's the difference between selling hours and building equity.
Building for acquisition forces you to think differently. You're not optimizing for monthly recurring revenue alone. Buyers want systems, efficiency, and profit. It's profit, not revenue, that's going to get you the best multiple, and not the size of your team.
And AI can amplify that value instead of replacing it, because you're not selling just your time anymore. You're selling a system, a product, a piece of intellectual property. AI makes that system better, faster, and more capable. So instead of making you obsolete, it makes you more valuable.
That's the shift. From being the product to owning the product.
From being destroyed to being the one doing the destroying. So let's talk about what you actually can do next. And here's what you need to remember. Creative destruction is not optional. It's mathematically proven, right? It's not something you can vote or lobby away. It's pretty much as immutable as the laws of physics. It is going to happen. The choice basically becomes, are you going to be the one destroyed or are you the one doing the destroying?
And that choice is made by action, not intention. Saying you're going to pivot to AI doesn't count. Training AI to take over employee tasks does. Building tools with AI that replace fulfillment does. That gets you moving in the right direction. Also, don't try to outsource this to your team. I have not seen this work out, ever.
Which means you need to start. Not when you're ready, not when you have all the answers, not when the opportunity appears. You need to start pretty much now. So here's what you can do. Start a sprint to build a lightweight AI-powered SaaS prototype. Not a full product range, just a prototype, right? Something you could ideally do in 30 to 90 days.
So pick a problem you understand. Ideally, one you've solved for clients before. Now, just solve it with AI and software instead of human hour.
Right. Use all the tools. Use Cursor, use Claude, use VO, use Replit, right? You don't need to be a developer. You just need to be willing to learn and iterate. And if you want, document the journey publicly on X, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or wherever your audience is.
This does 3 things. Attracts talent who want to help build, attracts early users who want to test, and attracts future buyers who want to see how you think.
Yeah, the documentation isn't extra work. It's part of the product, the positioning, and the exit strategy. And if you want help with this pivot, we've linked our AI and coding resources in the description below. So click that link to see our recommended tools and frameworks. We're also documenting our own SaaS journey. So subscribe to follow along and see how we're applying this exact approach ourselves.
Exit only.
See you in the next one.